Hello everybody, my name is Tobisatsu, and today I'll be reviewing Terrifier 3. Ooh. I've never seen the first, but I did see the second in theaters, and remember enjoying it quite a bit. The characters and story were serviceable, making sure when Art wasn't on the screen, you had something to either genuinely enjoy or snicker at with the hammy acting. Sienna and Jonathan had a really natural chemistry, with Lauren Levera and Elliot Fulham putting on solid performances. For something with such a low budget, the look all around was great, and I think it gave the film a rugged, personal feel, which helped make the gore scenes more effective. This carries into the practical effects, where the uncanniness of certain kills and movements adds to the disgust. The standout, of course, is the bedroom scene, where Art literally dismantles some poor teenage girl. It's brutal, disgusting, and most importantly, effective. Overall, it was a fun watch. So, what can you expect with Terrifier 3? Well, more gore and minimal plot. Years after the events of the second film, Sienna is checked out of a mental hospital as she prepares to visit her relatives for the Christmas holiday. But while she's visiting, she sees visions of her dead friends and family, leading her further into a mental spiral. Jonathan, now in college, is also trying to live a normal life and leave the past behind. But when Art reappears and starts back on his killing spree with new accomplice Victoria in tow, Sienna and Jonathan must think of a way to end the clown once and for all. Overall, the plot this time around really didn't work for me. The writers bring in a cousin character, Gabby, who plays a little sister role to Sienna, creating a dynamic similar to how Jonathan and Sienna were previously. Their scenes are solid, with the chemistry between the actresses working well. But I do wish we got to expand on Jonathan and Sienna's relationship more. Jonathan really isn't in this much at all. His presence is felt through the film, but they don't really give him much to do. Of course, the main reason you're coming to this film is to see Art and the crazy kills he puts some innocent souls through. Art, again, is entertaining, bringing this dark sense of comedy to the scenes he's in. The performance from David Howard Thornton is great, with the emotions he can convey from body acting and expressions alone being beyond impressive. This time around, he is joined by Victoria, who, while I don't find as entertaining, has some solid moments throughout. It's crazy to think how we've had two separate films about crazy clown couples released in back-to-back weeks. In terms of the kills, there are plenty. I'd say that Art takes up close to half of the film, with his antics spreading to varying locales. The gore, of course, is aplenty, with the higher budget allowing for more creative kills and some solid practical effects. The gore was most effective when it had an emotional layer to it. There's a scene towards the end that gave me a major sense of dread, and it was easily the most uncomfortable for me. No one here is safe, and I mean no one. If you aren't a big fan of gore, then you should definitely skip, which I assume you already are. But, if I'm honest, I began to lose interest in Art's crazy slaughters as the film progressed. There's just so much of it here, and after a while I became desensitized to it. Honestly, having seen the second film stunted this third one for me. What made that second one so memorable was that it was so brutal, and at least for me, I hadn't seen anything like that before. It was very effective, and I bring it back to that bedroom scene because even now rewatching it for this review, it's horrible. It has such a sadistic undertone, and it really does give you this uneasy feeling, which I think the ultra-low budget attributed to. Don't get me wrong, this third entry only cost $2 million to make, so I still consider this a fairly low-budget film. But the improvement in how it's shot, and just the overall quality bump of the film, lost some of the charm the second one provided me. That's down to personal preference though, and I really do have to hand it to the production team for what they achieved with the budget they had. This film looks clean, and I would never have guessed it cost $2 million to make. If you are a genuine fan of this series, then I think you'll enjoy this. If you are a fan of slashers and 80s horror, I can also see you enjoying this. Personally, I thought it was okay. It was a fun theater experience, and especially with a good crowd, it enhanced the viewing for me. But I don't think it's something I'll personally be going back to. Based on my initial impressions, I give Terrifier 3 a 6 out of 10.